Welcome back. Yesterday, we finished up the FSGA Senior Circuit League draft against some experts, I guess we'd say, in the industry. We got some guys from FanDuel. We have a former MLB GM in here, Fantrax, NBC Sports Edge, all of those good things. But the real experts, Avery Shenya and Jeremy Roach, drafted in this 15-team Roto League. And I'm going to go through all of our picks here. Jerry was kind of in and out. You did the best ball draft on Tuesday. I took this Roto draft.
I was an advisor on this team.
Yes, and you let this one get out of control in a good way for me. So we're going to run through our picks. Round one, okay, goes Trey, Jose Ramirez, Vlad, and then Juan Soto falls to us.
Yeah. Now, they did question this Juan Soto pick because it is Roto, 5v5 Roto. I don't know. They didn't even say who they thought we should have gone. I guess we could have went Bo, but I think I bet on guys that can numbers look good.
Generational talents at the plate.
I think Juan Soto was a good pick here.
And it was fine too because if he's 10 stolen bases, we're happy with that.
Yeah, no, for
so
sure.
Then kind of runs through. You guys can see the first round there. Nothing really crazy except Jacob deGrom, who's now hurt. Who knows how bad that is. Again, 15-team league. So some of these guys that you are going in the end of the second are like, oh, they're third-round picks. But yeah, makes sense where they go. It swings back to us, and we take Jeremy's guy. We take Matt Olson as our first baseman in round two.
So I'm more of a pitcher's guy. I love Matt Olson. I think that he's a league winner. But because we went Soto, my pitching brain probably would have took Shane Bieber here.
Yep. And Avery does not have the pitching brain, so we went Matt Olson.
But if hitter, great choice here, Matt Olson.
Yeah. So this keeps going. This is a two-catcher league. There's 23 active roster spots, 6 bench spots, two-catcher league. So you'll see me take some catchers here, and you'll see some of these catchers go way earlier than you'd expect. But then I need some steals still, right?
Yeah, because we got 2 big bats. You start off with 2 big bats.
And we go Cedric Mullins, Baltimore Orioles, which is a guy. We talked about this. I don't know if this is going out before or after we talked about it, but we're drafting him at what his best might be, which was last year. So say 30-30 isn't what Cedric Mullins does this year, and we get 22-27. We're pretty happy with that.
I think the steals are for sure 30. I mean, he might even beat that this year. I think the home runs will obviously get lower, like low 20s you're happy with. But, I mean, looking at who is next for steals in a 15-man, I thought this was a good pick.
There's not really anyone else who gets steals in this round.
Other than our next round pick that you picked.
Oh, buddy, what a pick. It swings back to us in the 4th, and I go with a guy that I love, and in Byron Buxton. In a 15-team league, you're taking him in the 4th round. You need to hit on some of these picks, and I think it's Buxton. The upside is there. It was between Buxton and Teoscar. Teoscar doesn't really steal that many bases.
The issue with Teoscar is he will get you a crap ton of RBIs and hit over 30 bombs, and you already had Soto and Olson.
Yeah.
And his average isn't going to be great. So you were looking for another average guy and steals.
Yeah, steal. I was kind of just all steals.
Now, did you almost take Joe Musgrove here? Because that's your guy, too. You love Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, I like a lot of these guys kind of in this. Had Fried gone already, too?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It just felt maybe a little early for me. I don't know why. Just the way this draft was falling. I
remember you saying you were going to take him in the 5th.
Yes, that makes sense then.
And then he went. So you were waiting for the turnaround. He went. And then you were kind of in a pickle.
So then I go, second base is kind of thin. And have we talked about Ketel Marte yet?
Yes.
Must draft.
My must draft infielder.
Okay, so Ketel Marte signs a new deal. What makes him really good is has second base eligibility. And I wanted Ketel Marte as my second baseman. Guy who doesn't steal, but a guy who can pretty much contribute in all 4 other categories is why I took Ketel Marte. And I'm happy with him as my 5th round pick. So after my 5th round pick, I'm thinking, hey.
Whoa, bro. I think Logan Webb here should have been
your guy
considered.
Okay, yeah, it's just not on my...
Ketel Marte, though, known to be a great Roto player, hits over 300. He'll provide all categories, not steals, though. But I think it was solid. It was a solid pick. Second base is thin.
Yeah, I could have gone Cease or Logan Webb, and maybe I'll regret that at some point here. But so after my 5 rounds of hitters in a 15-team league, I go, hey, Avery, you need a little bit of pitching. So this swings around. I go a guy who is already hurt in Luis Castillo. Why do I have to pick Luis Castillo in the 6th round? Because I haven't taken a pitcher yet, and he is falling because of injury concerns. So there I go, Luis Castillo. My first pitcher off the board is a guy who's not starting opening day. He is hurt.
I like Castillo. I think it's high upside here. And obviously you knew that based off like Alek Manoah, like I don't know how many innings he can actually log this year.
Yeah.
Versus Castillo, who's been
who
in
was
the year longer.
horrible kind of at the start of last year and still threw a lot of innings.
Like obviously Castillo can get you a lot of strikeouts. I worry about wins, but look, I mean, you needed a high upside. This is a 15-man league. I mean, you weren't going to pick. I'm looking at this like Trevor Rogers. I don't know how many innings he's going to log. So it was getting very thin. So Castillo was like the starter left that you could trust for like 170 innings this year.
Yeah. Hopefully it's only 2 starts he misses at the start here, and then he figures it out. So then I go again. Of course, I need more pitchers. I go a guy that kind of is dropping for no reason. What was Blake Snell last year? Maybe a 3rd-round pick. I take him in the 7th. I'm happy with Blake Snell. I liked what I saw in the second half of last season. Enough for me to take a chance on him in the 7th and be comfortable with it. I can't take crazy shots in the dark after I went so hitter heavy at the start of this draft. So Blake Snell, I was happy with in that spot.
Yeah, I think Snell, I mean, he's bound for rebound. He's obviously very skilled, and just depends on if he can figure his shit out, because last year was bad.
Yeah, he's
a high strikeout pitcher.
He's like an every other year player,
Yeah.
kind of based on his stats.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to actually do that, but that's how it's turned out. There's a pick in this round that I liked a lot, was Dalton Varsho, because of a 2-catcher league. I was hoping it got back to me here. That's who I was going to take. But instead, round 8, I take Willy Adames. Needed a middle infielder. Kind of gotten some steals early in this draft already. So, hey, Willie, if you can steal 6 or 7 bases for me, I'm going to be really happy. I've talked about how much I like Willy Adames. I think the breakout is coming. And as one of these hitters here, I'll take a chance on him. And then in the 9th round, I go with a guy you like a lot, another safer pick in Ian Anderson.
Yeah, I think it's a safe double-digit wins here, and based off who you have, obviously Castillo not wins. Blake Snell,
Could be
a decent amount. And then Ian Anderson, I think you're penciled in for double-digit wins and a very solid starter here.
Yeah, so I had no problem taking Ian Anderson. I was between Ian Anderson and Logan Gilbert for my 9th round pick. So as this plays out, swings back to me, round 10, I get that high upside pick in Logan Gilbert for a potential win, strikeout, whip, ERA, everything guy in the 10th round.
I think we're seeing a trend here. You had to go pitchers late, so your Ian Anderson was sort of your safe floor, I think, and Gilbert was your high upside guy.
Yeah, it would be bad for me to go high upside right away when I don't take those pitches. I've said it, and I'll say it again. I think it's the right way to do it. But I need to take a chance. If I'm too safe, then how much can this team really win? How high are this team really going to be in the standings? Swings around, round 11, Keibert Ruiz. I don't love my catcher here.
I think it's a good pick. I mean, you've been a Mitch Garver guy.
That's what I really wanted to double dip, Keibert Ruiz and Mitch Garver.
I think, though, Mitch Garver, I like Mitch Garver, too. I was surprised you went Keibert, because you haven't been really a Keibert guy.
I haven't really looked too much into him.
I think the 2-catcher, you had to go with someone here. We got destroyed last year with the 2 catchers.
Yeah.
But it's definitely important. 2 catchers leagues are, if you ever done one, you're in for a treat, because they are tough.
Yeah, they're not fun at all. I think it's the worst part of this league is the 2 catchers and maybe how huge the rosters are.
I think he's like, we're going back to high upside in a deep league. I mean, Keibert's going to hit the top of the order for that team. So
and catchers, you don't see the same amount of results as you do from a regular position player.
Yeah.
Okay, round 12, Hyun-Jin Ryu was my pick. So it was Hyun-Jin Ryu, Zach Gallen were kind of my 2.
I think, though, you needed to go Ryu.
For wins. He had a horrible year last year and had a lot of wins still.
Yeah. He should rebound. The Toronto Blue Jays are so good. Ryu gets a stellar third baseman. He's a lefty.
They give up a ton of ground balls to the left side of the infield. To have Matt Chapman there is awesome.
Yeah, so I think this is a very solid pick for the 12th round.
13th round, Avisail Garcia, Miami Marlins. Criminally underrated, in my opinion. A guy who can steal you 10 bags, can do everything. 5-category contributor. Not a ton in those categories, but he's all around.
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on Garcia.
Like, look at the guys going before him: Adolis Garcia,
Yeah.
Randall Grichuk, Robbie Grossman. I think I got the best player out of those four in that little run there, especially in a Roto league. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you can bump your average up a little bit too.
So it comes back. A guy I wanted was Joe Ryan. He goes this round. But then another guy said late round gem, right? Patrick Sandoval did it right away. I had no problem. I wanted to get Patrick Sandoval because of what I believe in that changeup. So there's no questions here and I think in that run he could be the best starter there of Montgomery, McKenzie, Wainwright, Stroman.
Yeah, I agree. I think he could be the best starter. I think this was a good pick.
So I started going safe with some pitchers, and then I went the most unsafe pitcher in all of baseball right now, and I went with Trevor Bauer. They said April 16th is kind of the date that, hey, everything's going to happen. We're going to find out what's going on with Trevor Bauer. If he misses a month of baseball, this is an awesome pick.
Yeah, I think that people I know some people you don't know if missing a year is going to mess them up. But Trevor Bauer, he
seen
is
his
prepared.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, that guy. If anyone's going to be prepared for missing a year, it's that guy.
I think he's a loser, but he's a good pitcher.
But remember when I always go back to this is remember when he had the stellar year with the Reds, right?
Yeah, he went Cy Young.
So he went from Cleveland to the Reds, and the offseason was crazy long or something, and he said he completely changed it, and then he had an amazing year. So I don't think this time off hurts him too much.
So also I haven't taken a reliever yet, which I was kind of going, hey, let's punt some saves here, which is fine. Kind of just a strategy Jeremy talked about in our, what was that? We've done so many.
It was how to win your leagues.
Okay, how to win your leagues.
I think it's the easiest category to punt because saves are so it's just so inconsistent. A guy could be pulled from the closer role very easily within the first month.
Yeah. So then I take Adley Rutschman in the 16th round, a guy that I know has a triceps injury. He's going to be shut down for a couple of weeks, who's going to need half a month in the minors at least. But I'm in a 2-catcher league where you're not picking a guy like that up off the wire. So I said, okay, I'll take Adley here. I'll let him sit on my bench. It's not great. People did that with Wander Franco last year, and it kind of paid off. But in a 2-catcher league, I think Rutschman will be better than Keibert Ruiz when they both play the same amount of games. So I had to take a catcher with my last round pick as well. But Adley Rutschman, I was just fine with. I'll take that upside.
Yeah, I like Adley. I think that 2-catchers league, he's a great third catcher to come in and do something. You might have the youngest catching core in the history of catching cores here.
So they had Jim Bowden, who is the former MLB GM. He was just talking about all the rookies I took. He just wanted them. That's his thing. He loves the rookies.
He didn't take a catcher till Travis d'Arnaud. He's destroyed there, Jim.
No, they chirped him for that one, that's for sure. Round 17, I go Joe Barlow, a guy who can get some saves. I'm not too excited about Joe Barlow, but I thought, hey, let's at least look at one guy who should be the closer of one of these teams, and that was Joe Barlow. Okay, let's move this down here. Round 18. Because of the roster spots in your leagues, you have the middle infield, the corner infield, the utility positions. I needed a guy who could kind of do average and steals. So I just went with a guy in Nicky Lopez. I think he'll play enough. Adalberto Mondesi, if he gets hurt, Nicky Lopez is going to play a ton again. He's going to be the second baseman. He's the backup shortstop. I think it was a pretty safe pick for me.
Yeah, Nicky Lopez. I mean, he's only relevant in Roto, so he should bump your average up for sure.
Round 19, it comes back to me, and I take a polarizing pick in Jesus Luzardo. I've done some safe pitchers, and I've done some not so safe pitchers, and Jesus Luzardo's upside's through the roof. The fastball sucks, but the breaking ball is really legit. So I think if he can figure it out in Miami, he's bound to outperform his ADP of a 19th round pitcher in this Roto League.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I hope he does well because there was so much hype on him with Oakland, and last year going into the season, people thought that he was gonna have this huge breakout season. I remember that wild card game; he had an insane outing for Oakland
out of the bullpen.
He needs to obviously it was a bad season, but I mean he throws hard, talented roots.
Yeah,
Luzardo, take a risk on him.
All right, my next 3 picks, round 20, 21, 22, I go Bryson Stott, Kevin Biggio, Garrett Whitlock. I take the juice with Bryson Stott. He's hitting .550 in the spring, former UNLV guy. I think he makes this team week 1 I didn't really have a good third baseman yet. So I think Bryson Stott will end up playing third base. I don't think they'll move him DD off short. I think it'll be taking away at-bats from Alec Boehm. So once he plays those 20 games at third base, Bryson Stott is now third base eligible in this league. That's what I was looking for. So I've said upside about pretty much a lot of my picks here, but that's kind of how I went, and I was happy with it. Next, 21, Kevin Biggio. He was being drafted top 5 rounds last year.
That was absurd.
It was crazy. So now the post-hype breakout can be Kevin Biggio this season in the 21st round. If he starts hitting 270 start of the season, can steal you bags, hits you 15 homers in a really good Jays lineup with runs as well. I know he's going to hit 7 or 8, but I think I'm taking this chance on Kevin Biggio.
Best thing for Biggio owners is if Springer has what happened last year and he starts missing time and Biggio it hits 1 because like that was talked about because his on base percentage is always strong, and if he hits 1 in that lineup for like 30% of games, then like that's huge.
He would have gone 5 rounds higher if this was an OBP league, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe not 5, but he would have gone higher,
maybe. But yeah, people are definitely sleeping on Biggio, but. Yeah, it's a solid pick. I mean, he's going to be a utility guy you can throw in there.
So my next pick is Garrett Whitlock. What did we think about Garrett Whitlock? Either he makes the rotation and he's a good starter for us, or he could end up being the closer for the Boston Red Sox.
I think, man, this guy's stuff is electric. Like, he was so good last year. He pumps like 98, and his breaking ball is filthy. Like, I think he'll strive as a starter. But if he's not the starter, I don't see why Boston doesn't put him as the closer.
Yep.
Either way, you're lowering that ERA.
I'm getting a good pitcher, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
So it comes to me in the 23rd. I wanted Gavin Lux. He goes 1 pick before. I cuss out loud. I was mad. So then I take a moonball in Mitch Keller. I've gone high upside, like no floor on some of these pitchers that I'm taking. I've talked about, I think that episode's going to come out before. It should come out before this goes live. But Mitch Keller is a guy I really like because of him throwing 100 in a bullpen session in an indoor facility in February. So that's fine. It's translated a little bit to the mound so far, but I'll take this chance. Again, I've talked about it this whole time. A lot of your last round picks aren't going to be on your team in the first 2 months. So take a chance on some of these guys. Then I kind of go safe here. David Peralta, he doesn't excite me at all. Abraham Torres, the next pick. If one of those I hate Abraham Torres with the offseason they did because they didn't really find him more playing time, even though he played really well while he was in Seattle after he got traded. Nick Solak, ugly pick again. There's just nothing good. What am I going to go Solak? I guess David Fletcher went already that round.
You could have won Tapia.
Yeah. I had a lot of outfielders, though. I needed some infielders because I had some players that weren't going to start. Then I take Evan Longoria, who was good last year.
Really like this pick.
Hurt to start this season. We had obviously I have to wait that out. I'll throw him on my IL, find another player. Daniel Lynch, okay, like there's nothing really exciting here. Corey Kluber's who I wanted, or Matt Brash, but I got Daniel Lynch. And then Jacob Stallings I take as my catcher because I don't have a second catcher because Adley Rutschman will not be playing. So I went right away and got that guy. What do you think overall? How did the draft go?
It went well. I mean, for a no pitcher strategy and not no pitcher, but not going pitchers in the first 5 rounds you did.
Yeah.
In a 15-man. So that's really like going like no pitcher like in 6 rounds in a 12-man.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, like especially in Roto, where those are half your categories. But I think you did a good job committing to not focusing on saves and focusing more on creating a balanced pitching lineup with wins and strikeouts. I like the team. I think there's a lot of power. The average is very solid on this team. You mixed it in, but overall, I think there might be some troubles at catcher with your second guy.
Yep.
And how long is it going to take for Adley to actually get the call to the majors?
We finished 5th in this league last year, by the way.
5th in this league.
And it was our first draft.
Our MVP.
Yeah, he was.
But no, I think it's a solid team.
Would you tell me if you thought it was shit?
I would tell you if I thought it was shit.
Okay, good. That's all I needed. All right. Well, there it is. You see us draft against some other experts. We're not just all talk. We don't just draft against bots. This was live on SiriusXM. There we go. Everyone keep subscribing. You've been awesome again. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.